outstanding domestic tussles over the year. It's 36 years young now, Armour, back after a 2-year absence to have another go, but they haven't fed him anything easy in the choice of this opponent. A Turk-born, French-based Tuncay Kaya, former French champion in 2 spells and European title challenger too. Round 1.
At the age of 36, another comeback from Johnny Armour, the former Commonwealth and European champion, the man who was in those 3 memorable fights against Francis and Popo a while back. Back in the ring here with Tuncay Kaya, who's based in France but was born in Turkey. A 2-time French champion is Kaya, and also boxed for the European title. He's quite useful, so Armour will have to be sharp on his return to the ring. And he's not getting any younger, is he?
No, he's always been good value, but he's been in some tough fights, so who knows, maybe a couple of years out at this stage in his career will do better than marking time fights. We're just about to find out if that's the case. But this is a tough one on paper to come back for.
It's giving away 8 years as well to this fellow, who comes with a reasonable pedigree. He has got 9 defeats on his record, but he's won 21. Doesn't stop too many. Johnny Armour, who showed in those fights with Francis and Popo that he can't only brawl, sometimes he was boxing quite beautifully in those contests. But his peak really was as a bantamweight in the mid-1990s when he was Commonwealth and European champion.
Well, at Armour's age, when you don't quite have the reflexes you had at one time, you have to replace it with something. So you're hoping experience, a little bit of guile, and conning the other fellows into making some mistakes. So we'll see if that's the plan, or if he's going to go to the well again for a tear-up.
Might take him a round or 2 just to get back in the swing of things. Hasn't quite found his timing yet in what's been an untidy opening round. But he has been good value, you're right. Brave, gutsy, in a lot of good fights over the years, Johnny Armour.
Yeah, maybe a couple of little bits of good luck, but fighters deserve that as well. But always great value, never flinched a challenge or the chance of a tear-up. Always great to watch. It's just a little graze on his eyebrow there.
Has been guilty once or twice of fighting with his face, as Armour. Good shot with the left hand from Kaya. That's just a push.
Well, it hasn't quite settled yet. Armour maybe being a little bit busier in the opening round, which especially at home will probably nick the round in his favour. But he hasn't been caught cleanly too often. The graze on the forehead, probably the inside of the glove.
I think it might have been there when he got in the ring. I noticed it when they were getting instructions, Jim. So
well, that would explain it, because there's not been too much clean in the opening round, but probably Armour just that bit more work rate, a bit more effort.
Second round, the gold lame Liberace style trunks of Johnny Armour here from Chatham in Kent, the naval town. Not too far to go, and down goes Kaya, but I think that looked like another push. His balance is looking poor, Kaya. He's had 3 visits to the canvas, none of them legitimate.
But I think actually what caused that, Johnny's timing's off, and he actually had to push Kaya back because he was being caught with punches and he wasn't blocking them and he wasn't coming back with anything, so he just pushed them. So just a little lack of sharpness.
I think I saw Kaya. I thought Kaya was complaining about the advertising as being a bit slippy on the canvas towards the end of the first round.
Well, Armour's coming forward here, but not getting punches off. See, he has to punch in the way in. He's trying to get close and then let the punches go. Not time for that. He has to throw them on the way in. Maybe use the jab, the southpaw jab, to get close. Struggling a little bit to find his timing here.
Kaya's got a cut by the left eye, which he dabs away at.
Well, you can see
another clash of heads, Jim, I think.
Well, you can see the blood on Armour's forehead, so I would bet my bottom dollar that that's what's caused it.
Quite a lot of blood as well.
No, there's no rhythm in Johnny Armour's work at the moment. Plenty of effort.
Got him with the right hand round the side there, but Kaya just a bit stung by all of this, and his bravado gets him into close quarter combat.
Yeah, Kaya's just a bit younger and kind of maybe stronger at this stage.
Just beginning to find his timing with one or two right hands. Armour has got a cut seemingly up by the brow of his head as Armour, as well. There's blood in the hair there. We think there was a head clash, by the way, that's caused all of this. And look at this, it's become a right old tear up now, hasn't it?
Well, the only good news, Armour's been in so many of these, but Kaya doesn't look like he has to worry too much. He's a solid-looking kid. He looks as though he can stand his own in there.
Takes the body punch. Armour, by the way, up at 8 stone 13 here, and Kaya was just an ounce lighter than that. And of course, that's a right hand, and I think that's a knockdown. He clipped him around the temple, and there was a touchdown. So he'll take a count here, Kaya.
Well, that was a tough round, and it was a perfect time to score a knockdown, because I wasn't quite sure which way that round was turning. It was tough.
Good uppercut from Kaya, who comes back. This man who's been around in a lot of French championship fights. Now then, we can show you the clash of heads, which caused that quite nasty cut picked up by Tuncay Kaya here. There.
Yeah, well, you actually saw the blood straight away on Armour's forehead just after that. And took Armour a couple of minutes or so to get into that round. I thought the round was fairly level, but the knockdown turned it in Armour's favour. So I just scored that 10-9. But probably a bit of a fortunate knockdown, if you like. There was a cuff there right around the side of the head and knocked him over. I mean, under normal circumstances, that wasn't a knockdown punch. But a nice little break for Armour.
Let's go to work.
And they've got to get the work done quickly here. It's a 6th rounder, because Johnny Armour's used to the 12-round distance. Here's the 3rd round. Armour in the gold trunks. The 36-year-old looking to reinvent himself one more time. Kaya did fight for the European title, lost against Maya Monchipur 3 years ago.
Actually, there must be damage also on Armour's forehead, because the blood's still there. So the eye and the forehead have been damaged, but I know which one I would sooner have.
Uppercut's a good shot by Kaya, who had about 50 amateur bouts, by the way, before turning pro when he was 22 years old. He's now 28.
I mean, this is a really good little match, considering it's on the undercard. I mean, this would have made a good 10-round top of the bill. I mean, two good, solid little fighters.
Just hit the gloves. The right cross got through at the end from Armour. The right hook, I should say, really. Boxing out of that southpaw style of his. And then switch hitting Kaya and causing Armour one or two problems. It just did confuse him for a moment there. It is a good scrap, Jim, you're right.
I mean, there's a lot of punches blocked, but that's because they're two good little fighters. Not too many real good clean shots getting through, but that's down to the fact they're both experienced, both learned their trade. But not a great round so far here for Armour, having troubles with this fellow's strength and work rate.
Candy tries to switch hit. Armour's been around in a lot of championship fights in his time. He made 5 defences of his Commonwealth title, 1 of the European, before being stripped. Good shots from Kaya, beginning to get the range. I like his uppercut as well. Looks a tough sort, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, Armour's landed a couple of decent shots. He's just come right through them. So this is all the signs of going the distance and not going to get any easier for either man.
Sharper work from Tuncay Kaya for me in this round. And what do you think, Jim?
Yep, that's pretty much the same as I've got. Again, just when you think maybe Armour's fading out of things, he comes back with some good stuff. But the majority of the good work in this round has come from Kaya.
He's younger and fresher, you'd think anyway. He ought to be.
You can see again the experience of Armour. He knows he can't allow this fellow to come forward. So although it's a hard job backing him up, he's prepared to do it.
Oh, he walked into a right hand, Kaya there, while he was trying to apply pressure. Sharp little punch from Armour. Kaya's round, I fancy that. Fifth round of 6. Just a 6th rounder, unusual territory that for Johnny Armour. Trying to snap out that jab and dominate behind that, whipping the odd left hand as well. The uppercut again, honey punch that for Kaya. Not that he's a big dynamite hitter, his record says he isn't.
Looking boxing coming from Armour. He just hasn't budged this fellow, he hasn't shaken him at all.
Still very competitive, the former French champion, who in fact has won and lost the French title twice. This is good stuff from Armour here, just beginning to find the range with some of those punches.
Well, that was another little example. I mean, the Frenchman with the pressure, the strength, the enthusiasm, but the quality punches coming back from Armour, but it looks as though he's struggling to sustain the attacks.
A couple of good shots from Kaya. Wonder whether Armour might just find the last couple of rounds a bit heavier going after so long ago. This is a more intense fight. It might only be a 6th rounder, but of course they fight at a faster pace naturally with this shorter distance.
He really digs them in like a good little pro Armour. You can see he knows exactly what's required. The body shots to try and slow this fellow down. But little burst of punches he's got to break off, get his breath back again.
They're both having their moments in this contest, and there's that uppercut again from Kaya. But I think just a bit, Armour is slightly outboxing him. He's a bit quicker as well as the former bantamweight. Cut by the right eye, Johnny Armour, not the first of his career.
I think this is around volume as opposed to quality. I'm just leaning slightly towards Kaya at the moment, just because the amount of work he's put into this one. The quality stuff and little bursts certainly came from Armour, but struggling to sustain it.
Just picking the punches a little better in that exchange, Kaya. Just changing his tactics a little, throwing punches and trying to get away a bit, but then he hung around it in the zone and got caught by a right hand from Johnny Armour. A punch caused this cut, we can confirm, from our excellent backstage team.
What a little battle this has turned into. Great match in paper, and it's fully lived up to it.
He's got a cut there, Johnny Armour, which they're going to have to work on. There's only a round to go. They'll be glad it's a 6th rounder now. There's the punch that caused it. It was that chopping left hand.
Yeah, again, it's just the pace and the strength of Kaya posing the problems. A few years ago, you can just see the blood coming straight away there. 2 or 3 years ago, I think Armour would be outboxing this fellow, punishing him for the mistakes and managing to sustain the countering work. But just a burst of punches, he has to take a deep breath these days.
Here's Jim's scorecard.
Yep, Armour won. It was possible the referee has scored the knockdown round 10-8 for Armour, which would give him a little bit more of a cushion, but I thought the round was fairly level, so I only scored it 10-9, but possibly, quite probably, on the referee's card, Johnny may have 2 points.
Yeah, that's what I put on mine, so I've got Armour 2 points up. And there's 1 round left in this. Gold trumps the former Commonwealth and European champion at bantamweight, Johnny Armour. Up nearly at 9 stone tonight, one of the heaviest weights of his career, if not the heaviest. And Kaya still plenty competitive enough here. He certainly hasn't come over here to lie down. He wants a win. He wants to claim a decent name, scalp. It's been good this one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a cracker. And I mean, it's amazing. Armour can still produce the little short quality punches up close. You can see the class that's always been there. Just can't quite find the time that he used to find. Just takes that split second longer. Before the punches would be landed, he'd be out of there. But you can still see the class there.
Still think he's in tremendous condition though at 36 for a comeback after 2 years out.
Well, Johnny Armour wouldn't come into the ring otherwise. I mean, he's always been such a proud little pro. As I say, the only 2 defeats were against real good quality operators. And here you see, when it gets tough, he doesn't look to hide, he doesn't look to clinch. He just fires right back. That's why every fight he's in is so good.
Getting knocked around the ring a little bit here, though, by Kaya in a all-action final round. Kaya just getting the better of it early on in the round, and there's his uppercut again. Just looking a little disorganised under pressure for a moment. Armour there. It's a strong finish, this, from the former French champion.
Well, he obviously feels it's close. He feels it's all there to fight for, and he's giving him an uppercut again.
Johnny Armour in yet another very decent fight, and there's his comeback. Crowd liking this all right.
See, again, that's the experience of Armour. He lets the opponent punch himself out. Just when you think the round is away from him, he comes back when the storm's over. But it looks as though Kaya still has plenty left.
I could have stood to watch another couple of rounds of this one, couldn't you?
Yeah, but I've got to say, I'm pleased for both these guys that is a little 6-rounder. Because I don't know what they get paid in, but I'm sure it will not be enough.
Ian John Lewis will decide. Kaya's probably closed it up a little bit over these last couple of rounds. Armour's had a good second half of the round, though. Here he comes. He'll know instinctively that we're moving towards the final seconds. There'll be a little clock in his head telling him that.
Well, I have Kaya just earning himself a draw, but I would imagine maybe the knockdown would give a... Not the other way, he's giving it to Kaya.
He's giving it to Kaya. Kaya wins. Johnny Armour is beaten on his comeback. Good fight, though. Looked a close one to Jim and I at ringside. I thought Johnny Armour just about held on with that knockdown, which I did score 10-8. You had it a draw, didn't you, Jim?
I had it all level, yes. I had Kaya just winning that last round. I thought with the knockdown round, the referee may have seen it a point the other way. But I don't really feel like Kaya deserved to win the fight, because I don't think Johnny Armour deserved to lose it. But at the end of the day, I'd have been happy if the referee had agreed with my draw. But there you go, referee, see it as score it as they see it. And it was a tough one to score all the way through.
Not what Johnny Armour was hoping for. He would have hoping for a win and to move on from there. Ian John Lewis, the referee. How close was it? We can hear now from John McDonald, our MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, referee Ian John Lewis has scored this contest. For Armour, 56 points. For Kaya, 59 points. Your winner from France, Tuncay, Kaya. Show your appreciation, please, in his 15th year as a professional, the one and only Johnny Armour.
Well, he did obviously score the knockdown round only 10-9, and presumably that was the only round that he gave to Johnny Armour on his scorecard. Bit harsh, possibly, that, but Armour is beaten on his comeback by the former French champion, Tuncay Kaya.
Some welcome back.